Good morning. It's time to get going today. It's time to rear up your fire so that you can have an amazing day. And I want to talk about, there's a group that I do called Coach Yourself to Success. And I go in there every day and I provide a challenge, a thought to be able to spur their businesses forward. I'm actually trying to see if I can move a group of people by doing mini coaching every day, if I can actually case study them up to being wildly successful. So you're always welcome to go look for the Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group for as long as I do it. But there's this woman, so yesterday I was talking to them about making sure that you're making offers and building your business around a core competency that you have. So basically what I said is look back in your life and look at the pressure points of your life, and the pressure points mold you to be able to create the business that you create. A lot of people create businesses around really attractive hooks. They're good at hooks, and they create these inspired companies around things that they've recently gone through, which is great, super great, nothing wrong with it. But at some point, you have to look back into your entire life and go, what is the history of the things that I've actually mastered? So what are the hardest moments that you've ever faced in your life? And you'll see that you've mastered a series of really great skill sets that can actually be monetized. So I'm not going to go into that piece right now, but what that gives you context that I was teaching that very specifically in our Coach Yourself to Success Facebook group yesterday. And so I was looking at the comments, and I pulled this comment because I think it's valuable to understand, because I think sometimes you could be listening to me and not always hearing. And I mean that with so much respect. So it's because I know for me, when I hear something new, or if I'm not consistent on, let's say, watching Coffee with Shanda, I might hear little pieces, but it's the more you listen, the more things open up inside your head, and you're able to really hear the stuff that breaks you through. And so, and remember, the piece I'm holding is finance. That's the piece I'm holding. So if that's an important piece to you, then keep tuning in and comment and be connected and allow this to open up. So this woman, this yoga instructor posts, when she was like, okay, well, what I'm good at is she's really good at being a yoga instructor, which is super great. I have tons of yoga instructors that work with us. And she said basically, she's a great yoga instructor. She's a great coach, she said. She said she has this real great ability to go in, and when something's not working for somebody, tweak it. And I could say that's probably about 70% of the people who watch me. And so you have to stop and go, wow, okay, it feels like a superpower, and it is. But there's a million people who have that superpower. There's more than that. It's probably 70% of my audience has that superpower, and they have this ability to see what's not working with someone and step in and shift that for them. So how do you expand that? Doesn't it feel like it's a lot of competition, a market that everybody's in? Well, yeah, that's called the coaching industry. And most coaches, because they have very similar skills, make under $30,000 a year. Unless you're in our PACE program, and you're going to see people create incredible results in a short period of time. But what normally happens is they create incredible results and then they stop listening to the coaching. Because it's what happens is it's kind of I can relate this to my experience with God. It's I go to church when everything's really bad, or not great, or feeling a little depressed, or things aren't working. And it's okay, now I'm surrendered, and I'm just help me, I'm on my knees. And then I get these amazing messages, and then it helps lift me through a hard time. I feel a little bit like that sometimes, that people use our coaching like that. They'll come in and they'll get coaching and they'll get a certain result, and then they take it over, and they're not quite as surrendered and dedicated as showing up as they used to. And so I share this with you because whenever you start getting lift off, right? Whenever you start getting lift off, I was sharing this on the live yesterday, that momentum is like a mistress. It will turn on you like a dime. It will. I've learned this. It's I just keep humility in everything that I do. I can't tell you how many people I've coached this to. I'm stay humble even when everything's working really well, because it will help you keep your momentum and help you stay surrendered in getting mentored and coached. Now, going back to this yoga instructor. So she has a skill that tons of coaches have. So the good news is that you have that skill. you probably should be a coach or a consultant. It's a superpower skill. Doesn't mean that you're going to create a business out of like a business that will create freedom and huge impact. I'm not talking about just making a little bit of money. I'm talking about transforming your entire family's finances. I'm talking about being one of the most generous people that you know is you. Like I'm talking about like completely shattering like any relationship that you've ever had with what financial freedom looks like in anywhere in your family, like even your cousins. Like, I mean, like going deep, like that's kind of the work that I like to do, is to really make it so that you know it so well and you know how to create that so well that, you turn and you contribute in a huge way. That's like my ultimate goal with you. So with this coach, with this yoga instructor, she said, well, I'm kind of tired of trading, and tell me if you can relate to this. Right? I love it when you give me feedback. She said, I'm kind of tired of trading my time for no money. What she probably meant is that maybe she teaches yoga, and yoga instructors don't really make a lot of money. And they should, because gosh, they really make a difference in our bodies, don't they? And in our stress levels. They should get paid a lot of money, but they're kind of like teachers at school. Like teachers, you think that the people influencing, the mentors influencing our children's minds, or even our college children's minds, should make a lot of money, and they just don't. And so, what do you do about that? Well, you've got to look at, and I said to her, I said, you got to look, first of all, you got to figure out the lead gen first, right? So for her, I told her, like, go build an email list. Like, come let us help you build it. We can help you build a really highly targeted email list that you could turn around. And I said, what if she offered a retreat for just 12 people? Everybody thinks it needs to be like 50, 60, 100, 200. It doesn't, right? So I said, what if you took, and I remember, I'm not coaching her. She's in the like, I'm not coaching her privately, so I don't know like all of her history of what she loves. So I'm a really firm believer in tying like a piece of your history that you've done really well, taking your superhero, your superpower, like for her, it's coaching. And many of you guys, it's coaching too. It's like, and taking a piece of that and then saying like, what would light me up? So I was sharing on that live that I was teaching them. I'm not going to go deep into this. Go into Coach Yourself to Success. Go apply to be in there. Go look at the video. I'm wearing a green shirt. I have my hair in a bun as well. I was wearing a green shirt yesterday when I taught this, so you can go find it on the page. But I went deep into this piece about you have to learn how to generate your own fulfillment in your job. And your job, if you're an entrepreneur, it's still your job. You know what I mean? Like, I still have a job. I'm showing up here, I have a job. My marketing director's up there right now doing her job as she's finishing off the zone page right now with our developers. And it's like, we all have a job. So you're not like, anyway, we'll leave that alone. And so there's moments naturally that you're going to feel inspired and moments that you're not. And so when you're not, what most entrepreneurs do is they create something different, or they go into a mini depression. Like, many entrepreneurs have a bit of an issue with going into a bit of a depression. They think it's about them and they have to fix themselves. It's actually about an addictive personality. And it's very common. Not all entrepreneurs are addictive, but it's very common for entrepreneurs to have a bit of a workaholism or an alcoholism or a drug addiction in the past. It's very common. I'm not saying everybody has it, but it's very common that you've got some levels of that going on. And so with that being said, you have lulls. I mean, everybody has lulls, but I think entrepreneurs, if they don't get right in their mind, which is why I speak so much about leadership. Leadership isn't a course, it's a lifestyle. That's why you can't just come to our leadership course and like not come back and staff or coach. Like, it just doesn't go. Like, if you had liftoff from the leadership course, it's like you have lifelong, no more depression, like that type of mentality is possible if you stay in the work. And so as an entrepreneur, this is important, because when you hit that lull, you actually really believe you need to create something else in more alignment with you. Because like Debbie Ford, before she passed away, she had this work where she said, shadow work, and she said, when it's an I, you've got illness. When it's a we, you've got wellness. And so whenever we've got illness happening, we're definitely leading. If we actually go back and look at our thoughts, like, be a little detective and look at our thoughts. We are actually leading so many of our decisions with an I conversation. It's really hard for me to not have a sore body or I have bulging discs in my back that don't hurt, by the way. Did knowledge therapy. Couldn't walk. I did knowledge therapy. But I transferred from an I to a we conversation. So I'm not going to go deep in that. I talk about it in Coach Yourself to Success. But the point is you have to generate your fulfillment. And your fulfillment will never be generated with the amount of money that you make. It just won't. I want you to have it, but money is just a mechanism to feed into your life, your movement, the contribution to help other people. And yeah, it's much more comfortable flying first class. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, it's really nice when, I can fly away with friends and pick up, $800 hotel rooms for a couple different friends for a birthday party. You know what I mean? Like, it creates great moments and memories, but it will never create fulfillment. So please do not run after money. I know that sometimes you know this, but I actually believe that people don't get this. They think if they had the money that it would make things better. No, it's actually learning how to generate fulfillment in whatever it is that you're working on. So now back to the yoga instructor. I said, without knowing her history. So I'm giving an example, but it's not just a tactic. I would actually go back into her history and see what are the pressure point moments in her life that were really hard. What has she really mastered because of that? And then what's something that really like creates fulfillment in her life, like that makes her happy, which for me, it's like reading books on a beach. It's like being with girlfriends, couples dinners, going dancing. I know I've already done a lot. Like I have a worksheet that I do that helps me like plan things to make sure that fun's included in it. Like it's crazy. So I know how important this piece is. And so what I suggested to her without knowing all those pieces, I was trying to open up her mind. I said, well, what if you took your skill as a yoga instructor, because it's all I can see on the thread, right? And you took the fact that you're a woman and women we do better together. Like we do, like you get a bunch of women together where we can go and just have a day, an afternoon, glass of champagne at the beach and lunch, whatever, midday or a shopping spree or a makeup party, or even if you don't even like that stuff. I mean, I never used to be a girly girl, but like you get me in a room to do that stuff and it's like I love that stuff. I'm a total girly girl now, but that was a piece of myself that I used to suppress. And so I know she's a woman. I know she likes yoga and I know she's a good coach. So I said, what if you actually just like built an email list and you did a webinar and you actually made offers to just 12 people. You're committed 12 people for $19.97, $2,000 for 12 women to go to a yoga retreat. Well, I don't want to just do a yoga retreat. I remember she's a woman. I want to generate fulfillment. So it's like, what if you created like the all-time best girl bonding retreat where girls could go do yoga, which gets us centered, right, and grounded. They can connect, they can bond, they can create their next level of life planning together. They could like literally redesign their life together as girls. They could consult each other and help each other live bigger so that, because typically if we set our own visions and goals, they get us so far. But when your friends come in, your friends know you. And when they come in and they start inspiring you to live bigger, they kind of know where you're hiding a little bit more than people who don't know you. So you'd be encouraged to bring a friend with you to this retreat. And so you've got 12 women coming together around this girl bonding retreat and doing yoga. That would now generate $24,000 for this good old girl yoga teacher. You know what I mean? And she would stop. Now, I know that would be a ton of income for her and would completely transform. Maybe that would pay off debt for her. Maybe that would allow her to, buy a new car or, gosh, every woman should go on a shopping spree and just not ever look at a price tag. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like maybe it would allow her to just have that freedom. But my point is that like when you're looking at what it is that you're offering, don't just build companies around what you think people want. And also, you can definitely make a lot of money with things that like have happened recently in your life that you're connected to. The reason why you make a lot of money with that is because you have charge on it and energy. So when you make the offer, you have a conviction. But the real wealth and the real impact is looking back in that history of yours and going, what have been the biggest pressure points in my life? And sometimes you don't want to talk about them because maybe you have some shame around them. But those, I'm telling you, my friends, are the most powerful companies and offers that will ever get created, that have a longevity, because you have a longevity of your life in these topics. You see what I'm saying? Like there's no one that can ever tell me that money is hard to make, because it's not. It's not. It's not hard to make. What's hard to do is to get you to develop your leadership. What's hard to do is to get you to stick in it and have endurance. That's your leadership. What's hard to do is to get you to listen to me for like 2 or 3 years straight and not be inconsistent with that. That's hard. That's all your leadership. That's hard. That part's hard. Making money's not. Right? So it's like, I know you have something like that in your life. Like, what is that for you that you know without a doubt can be handled because you've done it over and over and over again? And here's the kicker. What's the thing you've been resilient in your entire life? And I guarantee you don't think that people will pay for that. You don't know how to package that. You don't know how to put it together, or maybe you do, and if you do, it's actually only because you stopped resisting it and you actually gave it the worthiness. The fact that you overcame it gives it worthiness. The fact that you overcame it gives it worthiness. Anything that has worthiness has money, because abundance sticks to worthiness. So please share with me, what is it that you're taking away from this live? Because there's nothing this is me generating fulfillment for myself. I want to hear what was the thing I said today that is going to completely change the way that you lead the rest of today, the way that maybe you look at your business and tweak your business moving forward. What's the thing that I said today? And please comment and let me know what that is so that I can see you, and perhaps I'll give you a piece of coaching at that point, just like the yoga instructor that will put it all together. So just let me see you. All right, you guys, ladies, gentlemen, love bugs, I will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Shanda. And I do this Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. I always look at who shared, so please share this post, share this live if it made a difference for you. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.